Good morning, children. So, yesterday we have seen about the meaning of globalization and how it has affected the economy, Indian economy, and we are seeing that because of multinational corporation, what you can say, Indian goods and services are also getting the international market. Our Indian producers are able to, now they are exposed to the new technology, latest technology, and you can see that our industries are also progressing, like Parak Foods, when it got what you can say, when it became merged with the Cargill Foods, so it became an multinational corporation, it became an international company. Ford India, you can see all these examples. Because of that, we are seeing that there is a good globalization. Because of globalization, we are able to increase our production, increase the profit, increase the earnings, right? And we are seeing that increase in the standard of living of the people. Now, the result of greater foreign investment and greater foreign trade has been greater integration of production and market across the countries. So, because of the foreign trade, we saw that there is a greater integration of the production. Production has been integrated and market across the countries have also been integrated. Globalization is the process of rapid integration or interconnection between the countries. So, because of globalization, we are seeing that it is the process of rapid integration means there is a fast integration or interconnection between the countries. MNCs are playing a major role in the globalization process. More and more goods and services, investments, technology are moving between the countries. So what happened here? Because of the globalization, what you are seeing that more and more goods and services, investments and technology are moving between the countries. All these are moving from one country to the another country because of the globalization. Most regions of the world are in closer contact with each other than a few decades back. So what we are seeing that most regions of the world are in closer contact. How they are very in close contact with each other than in a few decades back means in the few years back. Also we are seeing that all these regions of the world are in very close contact with each other. But few decades back it was not like that. We were not in so good contact with each other. But now what happened? Because of the multinational corporations, what is happening? We are doing the trade between the countries, trade with the different countries. So because of that, what we are seeing that we have become, there is a good relationships established between the countries. Besides the movements of the goods, services, investments and technology, there is one more way in which the countries can be connected. So there is, besides the movement of goods and services, also investments and technology, there is also one more way in which the countries can be connected, together. This is through the movement of people between the countries. So what we are seeing, there is also the movement of the people between the countries. Now people are also moving from one country to the another. Besides the movement of goods and services, investments and technology, we are seeing that in other ways also countries are getting connected. That is the movement of the people between the countries. Now what you are seeing that not only technology movement is there, not only foreign countries are investing in the Indian companies, not only there is a sale of the goods and services between the countries, but what we are seeing nowadays, what you are seeing, people, see lot of people, Indian engineers are working in the foreign countries, in America, Australia, Canada, Great Britain. We are seeing that Japan, our Indian engineers, chartered accountants, MBA holders, MCA holders, and a lot of them our youths, they are working in where? In the foreign countries, diploma engineers and all the electronics engineers, right, all the mechanical engineers, they are working not in our country, but they are also working in the other countries in search of better income, better jobs or better education. Yes, nowadays in search of jobs they are moving from India to the other countries and to have the better incomes. In order to have more incomes, Indians are working in the other countries, and also to have better education. In order to have better education, good education also, our Indians, they are studying in Australian universities and all. They are completing their post graduations, their degrees in the Australia University, Oxford University, right, California University, like that they are doing, Cambridge universities, like that they are doing. In the past few decades, however, there has not been much increase in the movement of people between the countries due to various restrictions. But now, because of there is increase in the movement of people between the countries, what is happening? There are some restrictions have been done. For example, in America, this American people started revolting against the president, because for allowing the Indians to do the jobs in America, what happened? American engineers were not getting the jobs. So for that sake they started the strike and all, because Indian engineers, they are paying very less compared to the American engineers. So what happened? American engineers had becoming unemployed. So for that sake they had done lot of protests, they were doing lot of strikes against the president. So now the restrictions have been made in the movement of the people. Next one is the technology. Rapid improvement in technology has been one major factor that has been stimulated the globalization process. So rapid improvement in technology we are also seeing here. It has been also one of the important factor in the development of the, or the stimulation of the globalization process. You can see the technology. Now you are seeing the large machineries. If you go to the Nirani sugar factory, if you go to Samirwadi sugar factory, what type of the machineries you are seeing? Very large machineries, very big machineries, more than your house. It is so much big machineries are there. From where we are getting all this latest technology? We are getting it, this latest technology, machineries, big machineries produced in the foreign countries, and due to globalization we are able to import those machineries to India. For instance, the past 50 years have seen several improvements in transport technology. This has made faster delivery of goods across the long distance possible at lower cost. Here you can see the delivery of the goods and services. It is done by the rapid technology, use of the rapid technology. Now you are seeing the cargo planes. Planes are also carrying the goods and services. You are seeing the ships, that is also carrying the goods and services from the India to the other parts of the country at very low costs. What is happening? There is a movement of the goods and services from one country to the another country. Containers for the transport of goods. See here, goods are placed in containers. You are seeing here containers, blocks are there. This is the goods. Goods are carried in containers that can be loaded in tacked into the ships, railways, planes and trucks. So goods are containing what? They are containing the containers in which you can load the goods and services in the ships, in the railways, in the planes, as well as in the trucks. You can load them, right? Containers have led to huge reduction in port handling costs. So because of the containers, what happened? Port handling costs have been reduced, because these containers are carrying the lot of the goods and services, and increase the speed with which the exports can reach the markets. Because of this, what is happening? That it is able to reach in a very fast, in a very speedy rate to where? To the markets. Similarly, the cost of air transport has fallen. Yes, the cost of air transport has also now been reduced, because more and more goods and services are exported through the cargo planes. Cargo planes means the planes which carry the goods and services. Now they are moving from one country to the another country, and the cost of transport has been also reduced because of the technology. This has enabled much greater volumes of goods being transported by airlines. So much goods have been transported through airlines using the cargo planes. Even more remarkable have been the developments in information and communication technology. So even more remarkable, we have seen the developments in the information and communication technology also. There are a lot of developments which have taken place. In recent times, technology in the areas of telecommunications, computers, internet has been changing rapidly. So this has been in recent times what happened, technology in the areas of telecommunications, computers, internet has been changing rapidly. They are changing from day to day. There is what is happening, there is a what is an update, or there is an increase in the technology. The technology is increasing day to day, it is changing. And telecommunication facilities, telegraph, telephone including mobile phones, fax, etc. are used to contact one another around the world. So we are using all this telegraph, telephone, including the mobile phones, fax, we are using to contact the one another around the world. So internet has been changing rapidly. Telecommunication facilities are also increased. Telegraph, telephone, including mobile phones, fax are available, are used to what? Why are we using them? In order to contact one person who is not near to us, he is from the far distance places. To contact him, what we are using nowadays? We are using the phones, we are using the fax, we are using the telegraph facilities in order to contact that person, right? To access information instantly. So within a minutes or within the seconds, we are able to access the informations because of the telecommunication. And instantly, and to communicate from remote areas instantly. Any person who is away from us, far away from us, even though he may be outside the country, we are able to contact him because with the help of the telephone. This has been facilitated by the satellite communication devices. Now we are using the satellites for the telecommunication devices also. In the olden days, what we are doing? We are using the satellites in order to know what is happening in the universe, what is happening in the galaxy, right? What is happening in other planets, what is happening in the solar system. We were using it, but now what we are doing it? We are using the satellites services for the communication devices. As you would be aware, computers have now entered almost every field of the activity. So computers now have been entered every field of the activity. You might have also ventured into amazing world of the internet. So you might have been you are seeing the amazing world of internet, where you can obtain and share information on almost anything you want to know. So you have seen the amazing world of internet, and what you have done, where you can obtain and share information, where you are able to share the information on almost anything you want to know. Whatever you want to know, whatever the information you want to know, you can share the information. Just few seconds, we are sending you the links, right? Very easily we send, tuck tuck tuck, and you are able, by just putting one finger on it, your smartphones, you are able to open the videos and you are able to watch the video. So how is this possible? This has been become possible because of the electronic mail or the email or the voicemail. We are able to talk across the world at negligible cost. So monthly, how much you are recharging? 299 rupees, 300 rupees or 399. Only by that cost, what you are able to do? You are able to access to the internet. You are able to watch 1 GB of the data in the internet, 2 GB of data in the internets. Information and communication technology, or IT in short, has played a major role in spreading out the production of services across the country. Let us see how. It looks like very nice. This woman is saying magazine, but why isn't my textbook printed like this? I can hardly read the words in my book. No, my child, this printing press is not for ordinary Indians. See, here she is telling that this magazine is so colorful. It is so nice. Why my textbook is not printed like that? She is asking. Right now you enjoy the cartoons and all, right? You are very happy when you are watching the cartoon. You feel that instead of teachers, this cartoon would have come in our classroom and it has taught us the SST. You will be very happy, because it is colorful, it is changing, so many colors are there, variety of colors are there, along with that there is a music with it, so you find it very interesting. Why it is not like that? Why classroom is not like that? Why our textbooks are not like that? It is because it all costs lot of money. For that sake, it is not like that. So the father is telling, no, my child, this printing press is not for the ordinary Indians. We all are ordinary Indians. We cannot afford such a big cost, because the cost of printing is more. The cost is very high. If you purchase those books, the cost will be 500 rupees, 400 rupees. But how much your textbooks cost? 180, 150 rupees. Because of that, the printing is not, the quality of the paper is not so superior as you see in the different magazines. Using IT in globalization, a new magazine published for London leaders is to be designed and printed in Delhi. The text of the magazine is sent through internet to the Delhi office. The designers in the Delhi office get the orders on how to design the magazine from the office in London using telecommunication facilities. So use a news magazine published for London. A news magazine is publishing for London readers is to be designed and printed in Delhi. Where it is designed and printed? In Delhi. The text of the magazine, the text means the papers of the magazine, is sent through internet to the Delhi office. The text is sent, means what the words should be printed and all. The text is sent where? To the Delhi office. The designers in Delhi office get orders and how to design on the magazine from the office in London. They get how to design also, that is told by whom? By the London people. Here in the Delhi office they are going to print it, right? This is done through the telecommunication facilities. The designing is done on a computer. What they are doing? They are doing the designing on a computer. After printing, the magazines are sent by air to London by using the cargo planes, right? By air to London, these textbooks are sent, right? Or these magazines are sent to the London. Even the payment of money for designing and printing from a bank in London to a bank in Delhi is done instantly through the internet banking, e-banking. So, after receiving the order, the London company sends the money to the Indian company which is in Delhi through the internet. That is also done instantly. Instantly means very fast. How you eat the Maggi, no? Instantly. Within 2 minutes the Maggi is ready. Like that, here the London office, it is sending the money through internet and it is in the bank in Delhi. Right, the Delhi office which is printing the text, which is printing the book for printing, it is getting the money in Delhi office. So this is happening. Next one, liberalization of foreign trade and foreign investment policy. So let us see how is the liberalization of the foreign trade and foreign investment policy done. Let us return to the example of imports of Chinese toys in India. Suppose the Indian government puts a tax on import of toys, what would happen? Right? Those who wish to import these toys would have to pay tax on this. Because of the tax, buyers will have to pay a higher price on imported toys. Chinese toys will no longer be as cheap in the Indian markets, and imports from China will automatically reduce. Indian toy makers will prosper. So liberalization of foreign trade and foreign investment policy. This is done. You have seen the Chinese toys. There is no import duty. There is less import duty on the Chinese toys. So only China is able to sell its goods and services in India at a cheaper rates. When the Indian government puts the import duty on Chinese toys, that time the Chinese toys or the Chinese products costs becomes higher, and that time what happen, Indian producers will enjoy the market. They will prosper in India. Tax on imports is an example of the trade barrier. So whatever you are importing, import ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ರಿ, ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶದಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತೀವಿ ರೀ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶದಿರುವಂಥ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ನ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಕ್ಕೆ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತೀವಿ ರೀ, ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಆನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ of trade barrier. So tax ನಾವೇನು ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ, that is called as the trade barrier. It is, underline it, what is trade barrier? Tax on imports is an example of the trade barrier. It is called a barrier because some restriction has been set up. It is called the trade barriers because there are some restrictions have been set up. Governments can use trade barriers to increase or decrease foreign trade and to decide what kinds of goods and how much of each should come into the country. So what happens here? Governments can use the trade barriers to increase or decrease, regulate foreign trade and to decide what kind of goods and how much of each should come into the country. So trade barrier, it is going to decide that whether to increase or decrease the foreign trade, or to decide what kind of goods is going to come to India and how much of each should come into the country. That is all decided by whom? By the government. So government can use the trade barrier. Suppose you know India was for everything it was dependent on China. For example, ಕಸ ಗುಡ್ಸು ಮರಾರಿ ಚೈನಾದ, ಕಸಬರ್ಗಿ ಚೈನಾದ, ರೈಟ್. ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರು ಅದು ಮೇಡ್ ಇನ್ ಚೈನಾ. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ಚೈನಾ ಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಭಾಳ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಚೈನಾದವ್ರು ರೊಕ್ಕ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕತ್ರ ಏನು ಮಾಡಕತ್ರ, ಟೆರರಿಸಮ್ನ ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕತ್ರ, ಪಾಕಿಸ್ತಾನಿಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡಕತ್ರ. ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯಾನ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡಿರಿ, ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸನ್ನು ತೊಗೊಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್, ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿಜಿ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ಡ್ ದ ಚೈನೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಪ್ಸ್. He has banned the import of the Chinese goods and services. Not only he banned them, but also what happened, our Indian traders, Indian shop owners decided that we will boycott the Chinese goods and services. This is how we have to get united when our country comes in danger, when the defense of our country comes in danger. That time we should not go for the politics. Instead of doing the politics, we should all get united together and we should work for these enemies. We should teach a lesson to these enemy countries. So that time, now government has imposed lot of import duties on the Chinese goods and services, right? Whenever they become threats to our country, whenever they become problems to our country, that time the government has the right to impose the import duty in order to decrease their trade in India. Because of China, what was happening? The trade of the Indian goods and services were almost down. India was suffering a lot. India was suffering a lot because of the Indian factories. Indian market was suffering. Indian producers were suffering a lot because of what? Because of the tax imposed on the because of the Chinese trade in India. China's goods and services were marketing in India. China was exporting lot of goods and services which it has produced to India, and Indians had become the consumers of the Chinese produced goods and services. Indian producers were, it affected the Indian producers badly. Indian producers started closing down their industries. In order to support the Indian producers, now the government can impose high import duty in order to decrease the foreign trade and services in our country. The Indian government after independence had put barriers to foreign trade and foreign investment. This was considered necessary to protect the producers within the country from foreign competition. So after independence, what happened? Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister of India, decided that he had to put the trade barriers for foreign trade and foreign investment. This was considered necessary to protect the producers within the country from foreign competition. In order to protect the producers from foreign competition, right? Because of that, industries were coming up in the 1950s and 1960s, and competition from imports at that stage would not be allowed these industries to come up. Our industries had just taken birth in the year 1950s and 1960s, and that time if they were allowed to foreign investment and foreign trade, then what would have happened? Our industries were closed down. ಈಗ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದಂಥ ಮಗುಗಳಿದ್ದು ರೀ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ದು ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಿನೂ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ವು. ಅವಾಗ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ? ಫಾರಿನ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್, ಫಾರಿನ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಚಾಲೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು? ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು? ಭಾರತೀಯರೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಿ? ವಿದೇಶಿ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಂಡುಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರ ರೇಟ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಅಂತೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿತ್ತು? ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಾಗ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದ ಯೂತ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಏನು ಸಿಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ರೀ? ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಸಿಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಎಕನಾಮಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಸೇಕ್ 1950s 1960ಸ್ನಾಗ ಅವರ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ವರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಟು ಕಾಂಪೀಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಲೌಡ್ ದ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಆರ್ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. Machinery, fertilizers, petroleum, etc. Note that all developed countries during the early stages of development have given protection to domestic producers through a variety of means. So what happened here? Here you can see, thus India allowed imports of only essential items. So essential items yavri? So what were the essential items? There were the machinery, fertilizers, petroleum, etc. So these were the essential items. Only for them the government had given the permission in order to trade, in order to import them from the foreign countries. So what were they? They were the machinery, fertilizers and the petroleum. Note that all developed countries during the early stages of development have given protection to the domestic producers through a variety of means. Yes, when your country is in a developing stage, that time development, when your country is still in the developing stage, that time it is the duty of the government to protect the domestic producers, because it is very essential, because they provide employment opportunities to lot of the people. So for that sake, what is necessary? To give protection to the domestic producers through a variety of means. Starting around 1991, some far-reaching changes in policy were made in India. The government decided that the time had come for Indian producers to compete with producers around the globe. So now the time had come that we need to compete with the foreign producers also around the globe. It felt that the competition would improve the performance of producers within the country, since they would have to improve their quality. This our decision was supported by powerful international organizations. So in 1991 already our Indian companies have been started in the year 1950 and 1960. Industries were started. In the year 1991 that the government decided that now the time has come to improve the quality, right, improve the performance of the producers. For that sake, what it is necessary? It is necessary to improve the trade barriers in India, and it was supported by the powerful international organizations also supported that the performance of our Indian producers has to increase. The quality by which they were, the quality of the materials, the quality of the goods and services also need to be improved. So for that sake they removed the trade barriers in the year 1991. So very important, underline it, when they removed the trade barriers in the year 1991. Thus, barriers on foreign trade and foreign investment were removed to a large extent. This meant that goods could be imported and exported easily, and also foreign companies could set up factories and offices here. So, barriers on trade, foreign trade and foreign investment were removed to a large extent. Why? Because they were removed to a large extent, means they were given lot of concessions in order to do the foreign trade and foreign investment in India. Why? Because they wanted, this meant that the goods too could be imported and exported easily, and also foreign companies could set up factories and offices here, because they want the employment generation. You know, if one multinational corporation is started in India, it recruits around thousands of employees. So for that sake, what did India? India was facing unemployment problem. For that sake, they removed the barriers on foreign trade and foreign investment, and MNCs started the factories and offices here. Removing barriers or restrictions set by the government is what is known as liberalization. Underline it, very important. What is liberalization? Removing barriers or restrictions set by government is what is known as liberalization. So underline it. So what is liberalization? Removing the barriers, removing the restrictions set by the government. ನೀವು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನಾಗ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕುಂಡ್ರಿ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಇರ್ರಿ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತ ಬರ್ರಿ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ರಿ, ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ತೆಗೆದು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಯು ಗಾಟ್ ದ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್. Liberalization is there. Same thing is happening in the trade also. They removed all the restrictions, they removed all the barriers. Now they are seeing the liberalization. ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಫ್ರೀ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ವಿ, ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಹೋ ಅಂಚೀರಿ ಕುಣ್ದಾಡ್ಕೋತ ಜಿಗ್ದಾಡ್ಕೋತ ಹೋಗ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಹಂಗೆ ಟು ಎನ್ಕರೇಜ್ ದ ಟ್ರೇಡ್. In India, they had removed all these barriers and restrictions. With the liberalization of trade, businesses are allowed to make decisions freely about what they wish to import or export. So what happened when this liberalization is removed? Then what happened? The businessman felt a sense of freedom, like how you feel now when you are left free. After there is no class, you are free, then how you feel? You feel the sense of freedom, you enjoy that freedom. So same thing, the businessmen started enjoying the freedom. They were allowed to make decisions freely, right? They were free to make the decisions what they want to, what they were wishing to import and what they were wishing to export. In those days, before 1991, only essential products were allowed to be imported: petroleum, fertilizers and pesticides. Only 3 products. Now they are free now to import and export. They can import any materials and they can export any materials to the foreign countries. The government imposes much less restrictions than before and is therefore said to be more liberal. So what happened? The government is now establishing, making less restrictions. The government made everything liberal. So what happened? Now the businessmen, now the traders are very happy in order to trade with India. Now in order to trade with India, in order to export the goods and services and also to import the goods and services from India. World Trade Organization. Let us see. We have seen that the liberalization of foreign trade and investment in India was supported by some very powerful international organizations. These organizations say that all barriers to foreign trade and investment are harmful. So what they say that liberalization of foreign trade and investment in India was supported by some very powerful international organizations. These organizations say that all barriers to foreign trade and investment are harmful. They say that they are very harmful. There should be no barriers. So if you make barriers on the foreign trade, then it is going to harm the economy, world economy. So there should not be any trade barriers according to the World Trade Organization. Trade between countries should be free. All countries in the world should liberalize their policies. So here they are telling that according to World Trade Organization, they are saying that there should be trade between the countries. It should be made free so that all the countries in the world should liberalize their policies. They should liberalize, they should be free for trade. World Trade Organization is one such organization whose aim is to liberalize international trade. So World Trade Organization, it was set up in order to liberalize the foreign trade, not only in India but all over the country. Started at the initiative of the developed countries, WTO establishes rules regarding the international trade. So along with the developed countries, it is going to establish the rules and regulations regarding the international trade. So who is going to who is going to maintain the rules and regulations of the international trade? It is the WTO organization. India ಮತ್ತು ಚೈನಾದಾಗ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಜಗಳ ಆತಪ್ಪ regarding the import and export of the goods and services, then whom it has to complain? ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಓನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಇರಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾರ ಕಡೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ, ನ್ಯಾಯ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ WTO, ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. ದೇರ್ ದೇ ಗೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ WTO ಈಸ್ ದ ಒನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ದ ಜಸ್ಟಿಸ್ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿ ಕಾನ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ಎನಿ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ countries happen, and sees that these rules are obeyed. So it is international trade rules should be obeyed by whom? By all the countries. At present 164 countries of the world are currently members of the WTO. Underline it. At present how many are there? 164 countries of the world are currently the members of the WTO. Underline it. How many countries are there? 164 countries are the members of what? World Trade Organization. Expand WTO means World Trade Organization. Though WTO is supposed to allow free trade for all, in practice it is seen that the developed countries have unfairly retained trade barriers. On the other hand, WTO rules have forced the developing countries to remove trade barriers. An example of this is the current debate on trade in agricultural products. So what has happened here? Though WTO is supposed to allow free trade for all, it is made to do free trade for all in practice, but what is seen in the developed countries, they have done unfairly retained trade barriers. They have unfairly retained some trade barriers with them. On the other hand, WTO rules have forced the developing countries to remove the trade barriers. ಸೊ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್ಸನ್ನು ಯಾರು ತೆಗ್ದಾರ್ರಿ? ಡೆವಲಪಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ತೆಗ್ದಾವ. ಬಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾರಿಯರ್ಸ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತಾರ, ಅದನ್ನು ಅವ್ರು ತೆಗ್ದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯಾಯ, ಡೆವಲಪಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯಾಯ. ಎವ್ರಿವೇರ್ ದ ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್, ದ ರಿಚ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ರೂಲ್. Developed countries are rich, so this WTO organization is listening to them. Developed countries, they have the unfairly retained some trade barriers. They have kept some trade barriers, and there is no WTO is not forcing them to remove the trade barriers, but it is forcing whom? Developing countries to remove the trade barriers. An example of this is the current debate on trade on agricultural products. So you can see that there is a debate on agricultural products. Let us see what is the debate. You have seen in chapter 2 that the agriculture sector provides the bulk of employment and a significant portion of the GDP in India. Compare this to a developed country such as the US with the share of agriculture in GDP at 1% and its share in total employment at tiny 0.5%. And yet this is very small percentage of people who are engaged in agriculture in the US receive massive sum of money from the US government for production and for exports of the to other countries. So here you can say the employment in the agriculture GDP is 1% only share is there of total employment, and employment is 0.5%, and income of agriculture income is 1%, but still the US government is providing support for the agricultural sector in a trade of the goods and services, of the agricultural products, in export and import of the agricultural produce. Due to this massive money that they receive, US farmers can sell the farm products at abnormally low prices. The surplus farm products are sold in other country markets at low prices, adversely affecting the farmers in these countries. So what is happening? Because it is getting lot of support from its home government, it is able to sell the farm products at very low prices. ಅಮೇರಿಕಾದಾಗ ಏನಾಗೈತ್ರಿ, ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ GDP ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ಡೊಮೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ನಾಗ 1% ಐತ್ರಿ. ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟೈತಲ್ಲಿ 0.5% ಐತಿ. ಆದರೂ ಅಮೇರಿಕನ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೈತರಿಗೆ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ರೊಕ್ಕ ಕೊಡ್ತೈತ್ರಿ. ಎದಕ್ಕೆ? ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ, ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ನ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೈತಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೈತ್ರಿ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಲವಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೈತ್ರಿ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಲಾಟ್. ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ on the export of the agricultural produce. So what they are doing, the farmers, US farmers are able to sell the agricultural products at a very low prices in the market compared to the developing countries. Developing countries are therefore asking the developed country governments, we have reduced trade barriers as per WTO rules, but you have ignored the rules of WTO and have continued to pay your farmers vast sums of money. So what you are doing here? We have reduced the trade barriers as per the WTO rules, but you have ignored the rules of WTO and you have continued to pay your farmers vast sum of money. You are giving vast sum of money for doing the irrigation, for doing the agriculture. You have asked our governments to stop supporting our farmers, but you are doing so yourselves. Is this a free and fair trade? Yes, they have told the developing countries that you should not support them farmers, you should stop supporting farmers, and you are doing it so yourselves. So is it a free trade and is it a fair trade? The questions are asked by whom? By the developing countries farmers. So this is how the developed countries are doing with the developing countries. Okay children, thank you. I will continue the further discussion of impact of globalization in India in the next class. Thank you children.